Who needs a drink? Old school. Original style. The way you all like it. I know some of you miss it. Let me know if volume is coming through. You can hear me all right. I'm going to make sure you can't hear that fan. I have a fan pointing at me because it's mucho caliente here. Already a ton of people rolling in. Rolling. I just got in the door. Oh my God, look at this. There's a PayPal. I know it's going to be Philip Manning, right? Yes. Guessed it. Amazing. How are you all? How has it been? There's a couple of super chats already. Kyle Penna picked up a Tissot PRX mint, the mint green, correct? And a Seiko SPB 519. Congratulations, sir. That's a beautiful thing. Just got in. I was talking to a German whose grandfather was in the Luftwaffe and flew with Joseph Gallant. Remember that guy from my Spitfire video? I'm like, Jesus. This guy was towering over me. He's fucking 6'5", built like a fucking brick shit house. I was like, fuck. This is what the master race looks like, huh? Jesus. But no, fun guy. I might have him on the channel. I might include him in the next documentary I do about that kind of stuff. Whenever that comes around. Bruce Hendry, how are you, man? Are you settled back into the depression of Scotland? Love the gold sub photos. Nice to be reminded that life hasn't worked out the way you planned. Well, it's not the photos. I put up clips of the gold sub video, which I think you will agree isn't really about the gold sub at all, is it? I mean, it's the gold sub is this kind of inspiration for the subject matter. It's about achieving such a thing, coming to a moment in your life where you are lucky enough, or you've worked hard enough, or a combo of both, where you can afford to put a solid gold dive watch on your wrist. A contradiction in terms. Not that anybody would be diving with that. Mind you, I did some swimming with I went to the beach last year with the fucking gold, so just why not? It's built for it. The gold isn't going to be affected. Not that the steel would be. 904L steel, unaffected by salt water. Gold unaffected by anything, actually. I mean, it melts under high temperatures, but it's kind of indestructible gold. Soft, but indestructible. Thank you for the super chat, Bruce. Let me see who else is in the room. The German guy kept saying, "You have beautiful hair." Dude, you keep complimenting me on my hair. We're going to fall in love. Yeah, I guess I'm lucky with that stuff. I think it was his girlfriend or his friend or something. She was like, he dyes his hair. Why does he do that? Look at your hair. You have lovely silver fox. Look, I'm back to my bowl. You know what's in here? Tequila and watermelon. It's back to the hot days again, guys. We had Aqua Alta today. First time in ages. Aqua Alta. It was freaky, actually. I've seen it in some time. And then it's always the same. I don't know what the science is behind it, but as it recedes, because it reaches a peak, as it recedes, excuse me, there's a crazy humidity that moves in straight after. I don't know what the science is behind that. Maybe there's a meteorologist in the room who can tell me. So we went from being kind of fresh day, nice breeze, sunny, to sticky hot mess once again. Don't move to Venice, guys. If you have a problem with humidity, do not move here. You can get fucking humid here. There's Joe. Hola, Fidel. There's the Fidel, yes. Matching the t-shirts, of course. Mary over the restaurant earlier was wearing boots because she was carrying plates out to the front and she had to walk through 2 inches of water. And she had these green boots on. She goes, my boots match your outfit. So I took a photo. I'll stick it on Instagram later. It was funny. Then I was invited out tonight for some fun stuff on the other side of town. But listen, there's been a lot of drinky nights and meeting people. And I felt like I better work for a living here, at least one night. And I haven't given you guys a proper who needs a drink in quite some time. I will be joining Dirk afterwards in proper fashion and dragging some of you guys over with me. God willing. DJ 20 euros and also a member. The Gold Bluesy is still the best video on YouTube. I watch it every now and then. It is a good video. It is a good one. I don't know why it came to mind and I reposted it then. I added a couple of extra things in the edit, if you notice, on Instagram. A couple of extra clips that have happened since. But it's a good video because, in my opinion, because the watch isn't just about the fucking power reserve and the lug width and, you know, we all love the Tim Mosses and all of that of the world because we find out all the info. But is that really why you buy the watch? I mean, is it really? I don't think it's why you do it. Especially a pricey watch. I don't think you do it for that. It's like all jewelry, I think. Jewelry has no real function, does it? Like when a woman gets a diamond necklace or whatever, a bracelet, it's actually a nuisance. You're wearing something that isn't helping anything really, but you're doing it for this other reason. It might help you look better or feel better, or it might be an achievement marking a milestone in your life or something like that. It's symbolism. It's something that the animal kingdom doesn't really engage in, other than birds. Birds like to decorate things. Birds can get very vain. Birds are vain creatures. And they display their prettiness and so on in order to woo women. It's usually males that are the ones doing all the work. That's true in our species too, but we're not the prettier of the sexes. Not even close. Most men are hideously unattractive. What women find attractive in us is a mystery to both men and women. But luckily, there's something. We make them laugh, right? That's the biggest thing. If you can make a woman laugh, it's the shoehorn shape that you want to see, right? As her head goes back, laughing, and you see that shoehorn, the upper teeth, that involuntary laugh. Once you've made the woman laugh, you are now winning, my friend. Peacocking, exactly. Not Matt Lang. It used to be not Matt Lang, but you changed it to not. Are there going to be 3 knots next week? That's the Jammin' 3. The other looks odd. Yeah, so I should give you a shot of this up close. There she is, the Fidèle. Many people consider it the watch for my wrist. It's quite something. It's a beauty. Before we get into chat, I'm going to talk about some stuff tonight, because that's what we do on a Friday, right? You want me to rant? You want me to get mad? Let's get mad. I waited an extra half hour for 2 reasons. One is because I was out with those friends. They were trying to drag me away and have me cancel tonight. It was like, I can't do it. No, I can't. I got to give the folks a proper. It's not even just tonight. A lot of people like to listen to it over the weekend. Fewer people will, because I've stopped doing it regularly. So some people now have, their attention has been dragged elsewhere. That's just part of it. So there was that. And then there was also the game that I don't know if the soccer is finished. I haven't even checked. I haven't had time. Who won? Who's winning? Spain is playing, right? Is it Belgium and Spain? I did a live the other day, but I deleted it straight after. And my battery died on my phone. I was like, I'll forget it. But I was talking about this stuff. I'll probably go over the same ground again. If you already saw that one the other day, and it sounds like deja vu, I'm repeating myself. Forgive me. It's 1-1. Okay. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Charles. 85-minute mark. Okay, so it's coming to an end. The numbers in the audience might go up after it finishes. They might be like, well, that was a shit game. I wonder who's on YouTube. Oh, look, it's him. It's the Silver Fox. Actually, I saw a clip of one of the lives when I was next to my friend Simone Frollo in the piazza last week. We did a live. James was on it, his girlfriend Matilda, and Simone's sitting next to me, and I just saw a screen grab, and I was like, at least you can see now. I have no problem going gray. I think I'll be a nice gray. But people think I'm grayer than I am because my goddamn iPhone, every time I do a live, it accentuates it. But he's actually gray, so you can actually see a difference. I was like, well, at least now there's the proof. Okay. I'm very permalosa, as they say in Italian. Permalosa means easily affected, easily hurt. You can get under my skin so easily. Actually, that's not true, but I don't mind people thinking whatever they want. People will think whatever they want. People will say whatever they want. You've no control over it. Yes, so let me have a look at the chat real quick before I get into ranting. This is what you all want, right? You want to go to fucking. You want to hear Al Pacino, my shit Al Pacino, my third grade, fourth grade Al Pacino impersonation, or my Clint Eastwood, which is awful. Get off my lawn. I have to work on the Clint Eastwood. I feel like everyone can do him, right? Now quotes are coming to mind. Shit, my fucking head. What's wrong with me? I never noticed these highlands up here. The trees. Be sure I noticed them now. I thought I was dead for sure. You really gonna kill those guys? I guess so. There's still a payment coming, right? Some of the guys have been taking free advances on the payment. You guys know the film, right? Advances. Yeah, Alice and what's her name? Silky. Alice and Silky have been giving them free ones. Free ones. Yeah, they've been giving the guys free ones. I see. Would you like a free one? He looks at her. I guess not. She's a great actress as well. She's so vulnerable. She's like, I didn't mean with me. I meant maybe Alice of Silky would give you a free one. I didn't want a free one on account of you being all cut up and all. You ain't ugly like me. It's just we both got scars, that's all. Such a great script. I love that script. It's so simple. But if I did want a free one, it would be with you. Such a good film, right? They got a sign on him. Outside McGreedy's. They got a sign on him. They got a sign of him outside McGreedy's. Little Bill was saying how you kill women and children and all. That didn't scare Little Bill. He reaches for the other guy's bottle. He hasn't had booze in years, and he reaches for the bottle. It's almost out of frame. Because the whole movie, he won't drink. He said he used to drink. And he fucking reaches over and grabs the guy's bottle. That didn't scare Little Bill, did it? No, sir. Give me your Schofield. What for? Give it to me. You better ride on home. That's so good. That film that's probably my favorite Western. Think of it. Gene Hackman, fucking, what's his name? Yeah, it'll come to me. And of course, Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman. Like, the fucking cast is ridiculous. Gene Hackman. Will you be William Money who killed women? I love when he comes in and he's just like, Little Bill is giving a speech to everyone, and they all see your man coming in with the fucking rifle, the shotgun. Who's the owner of this shithole? You, fat man, speak up. I'm the owner of this establishment. Bought it from McGreedy for $1,000. You boys better move on back. He blows him out of the world. Well, sir, you are a coward. You just shot an unarmed man. Well, he better arm himself if he's going to decorate his saloon with my friend. Sorry, I'm fucked now. This is the end of the show. I'm sorry, guys. Fuck. It's like playing in my head like a record. Will you be William Money who killed women and children? That's right. I kill women and children. And there's a great slow zoom in. Actually, it's not slow. It's actually quite fast. If my daughter's watching, she'd be like, Dad, shut up. She's not watching. She doesn't watch this shit. But if she was, she'd be like, that's not a slow zoom. That's a fast zoom for effect. They zoom in because that's the moment the audience realizes, like, oh shit, he is this evil dude. We didn't, like, the whole time he seemed so good and moral. You know, if I did want a free one, it would be with you. Seeing he's like, but I can't on account of my wife and all. Like, he's an upstanding guy. He's a classic cowboy. He's moral, but he's also broken. So there's a great zoom that happens, which I think is a moment that where the audience go, oh, fuck. He goes, that's right. I've killed women and children. I've killed about everything that walks and crawls at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, Little Bill, for what you did to Ned. So good. All right, boys. He's got one barrel left. After he takes that shot, take out your guns and gun him down. Misfire. Shoot the son of a bitch. Then the writer is like, well, normally in a combat, an experienced fighter will take down the best shooter first. I was lucky in the order, but I've always been lucky when it comes to killing folks. Sorry, okay, I'm gonna stop. I was sorry. Stop. What are you doing? People will be watching this show. What is this? Who is this guy? Doesn't he talk about watches? All right. I need to wake up. 3 minutes left on the game. Rob, wishing do you get back to Dublin much? Maybe explain to the audience the difference between nice south of Dublin and shithole Scanger north. Well, you haven't watched my Ireland videos. There's two, Ireland Part 1 and Part 2, Finding Grace O'Malley. Clearly, you have not watched. In the first one, I tell a joke, the difference between a North Side girl and a South Side girl is that the North Side girl has fake jewelry and real orgasms. It's a bit dirty, but hey, it's fucking Dublin. What do you expect? No, I'm a North Sider, my friend. I know I have half decent enunciation and diction and so on. So you think I'm maybe a Southsider, but I'm not. I'm a Northsider. We have the character. The Southsiders have all the money, and the Northsiders have all the character. You can earn one of those. You can't earn the other. I'd rather be born with the character and earn my money and buy my Piguet than the other way around, because you can't buy that. Okay. No, I'm a Northsider. I was born in a place called Edenmore on the north side of Dublin, possibly the hardest fucking place on earth. That and Gaza. Not for the faint-hearted. But a great many people came out of there. And then we moved. I was around 12. My mom and dad worked real hard to get us out to a little nicer area. I remember their fear was when we went for job interviews when we grew up, that our growing up in really impoverished areas you would hear it come through in our diction and so on. They didn't want that for us. They wanted us to grow up a little bit more, just slightly more elevated, and also get us out of there. It was fucking crazy. Like, if you weren't being bitten by dogs, you were being bitten by the locals. So they did that. What they achieved, looking back after all the years, what they achieved with so little is astonishes me more and more the older I get. A literal pair of saints. My father hasn't been with us now for well over 20 years, but my mother's still around and still a trooper. God damn it. There's nothing stronger in the world than an Irish mother, I'll tell you. If you had 10 legions of these women, our problems here would be over very quickly. That's a kind of I mixed a quote with what I was saying. But we moved to just a nicer part of Raheny, Donamead, little nicer, little less working class, but certainly not privileged. Not privileged Dublin by any stretch of the imagination. I had a friend who had a massive house in Howth, on Howth Hill, up in the place called the Bailey, which is a very, very well-to-do part of Dublin. Stunning up there. You see some of it in my Ireland video, the part one. We became great friends. We met at Irish school in the West, the Gaeltacht, as they say. You go out a month out the West to learn Irish or brush up on your Irish. Not that that's what we did. All we wanted to do was date the local girls, which is exactly what I did. Because of these girls on this little island out in the West, bunch of Dublin boys looked like fucking chocolate cake. But I met this guy. We remained friends because he was a computer geek and so was I. And he was very, very proper and went to Belvedere College and played rugby, this kind of thing. I don't know why I'm doing a British accent. Anyway, he would come over to our house and it probably looked like a box to him. And his parents when they would pick them up, they wouldn't even come down our street. They wouldn't even come outside the house. They would come to the end of our road and he would have to run down the road to the car. That's how snobby they were. There's nothing more disgusting than a snobby Irish person. The Irish who learned to live on nothing for hundreds of years under the iron fist of the Brits, the iron fucking leather boot of the Brits. Then they turn around and make a little money and all of a sudden they're better than you. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Isn't it funny? Yes. Oh. Jeremiah, you were not. You were born in Fairview. Well, I mean, you're splitting hairs now, man. I wasn't born in Fairview. I was born in the Rotunda Hospital, which is the city center, if you want to get very technical about it. Correct? I was a C-section. There's no way I was... it was in an operating theater, which was in the Rotunda, which is not Fairview. We're going to get in a fight now, man. Mom was always right, Kevin Landon. I was born in the Rotunda Hospital. There's actually a bit in the Ireland video, the unedited one, which you guys haven't seen, where I'm actually outside the Rotunda Hospital. And I'm like, I was born right there. It just never made it to the final cut because it's like, how long am I going to make this fucking video? It's like way too much footage. You have to leave something on the cutting room floor. Right now, my mother's frantically typing a rebuttal. I'm sorry. Yes. What have I got myself into? Stop talking, O'Malley. Oh, hold on. That's my job tonight. I have to talk. If I don't talk, we don't have a show, correct? Right. Calloy, please smash the like or up vote button. Yeah, it's a thumbs up. It's down here. Thank you, Calloy, for reminding. And as always, super chats and PayPals are appreciated. PayPal's even more. TheTimelessWatchChannel@gmail.com is the address on PayPal. TheTimelessWatchChannel@gmail.com. The old name for the channel. Some people miss it. Some people miss it so much, they write me long emails. I got one from a guy. If I get drunk enough, I'll pull it up. But hopefully I don't get drunk. Maybe I'll pull it up on iBashers in about 2 hours. It pissed me off, I'll tell you. Rob, you have not been banned. You're on the screen. That means you have not been banned. Del Boy's in the room. Fellow Irishman. The same hospital the baby in the snapper was born in. Is that a turkey or a baby? It's a baby. Ah, right. Would have been a small turkey. David Fitzsimons, also great Irishman. Many great Irishmen were born in the Rotunda. Bono, Christy Brown, Francis Bacon, and myself. The Rotunda was my mother was in there. She was practically part of the furniture. She had 5 kids in the space of 7 or 8 years. She knew them all by name. The staff, that is, not her children. There's an interesting one, actually. My mother actually didn't know my name. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong, man. God, I'm going head to head now with fucking Jer. This is a losing battle, isn't it? I was just saying, don't go Don't go up against an Irish mother. You're never going to win. My mother wanted to name me a different name from Irish folklore, but my dad didn't like it. And my dad was a sneaky bastard and just on my birth certificate put Ushi. But my mother wanted to call me Setanta, which is another figure from Irish folklore. Am I wrong? I just got another PayPal. $20 from Derry. Thank you, sir. I'm actually glad I wasn't called. Setanta is a lovely name. It's very strong. When I think of Setanta, though, I think of a muscular guy on a horse with blonde hair. I don't know why I think of that. But luckily, I wasn't called Setanta, or Setenta, not Setanta, Setenta. I'm lucky I wasn't because, of course, I came to Italy years later, many years later. And Setanta means 70. It's just the word. It's the word for 70. 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70. 50 I missed. Why did I miss 50? So that would have been weird, wouldn't it? Hi, my name is 70. Already Oisin is weird enough for the Italians. Half my friends here call me Sean. I just make it easy because that's my second name. I'm like, let's just say Sean, okay? There's another PayPal. Look, my phone was going nuts. This is what I like to see. Ryan, legend. Thank you, Ryan. Direct inject. Oh, you say I got a you are correct from the Irish mom. That's a benediction that you guys do not understand. When an Irish mother stands down and says, and concedes, it's like winning the lottery. You better celebrate that now for like a year. It's not a thing that happens much. Usually Irish men are wrong and the women are right. That's just a universal rule. Yeah. Fuck, I can just like chill now. Already made it through that one. There's some great comments here, but can't you super chat them, guys? Because I feel it feels rude to pick someone's comment over another person's comment, unless you put your money where your mouth is, in which case, sorry, fellas. You want to sit up front on the airplane and have champagne and caviar instead of a bottle of water and a packet of peanuts? You has got to pay. That's life. What's happening with the soccer? Is it done? Spain won against Belgium. Oh, so they scored in the final minutes? Of course they did. Well, now that's funny, isn't it? Because Belgium knocked USA out. And now all the Americans are paying attention. I don't know if they're still paying attention. Let's hope they are. And then Spain, of course, Trump doesn't want to have anything to do with Spain anymore, which is ridiculous because they're a fucking NATO country and part of the EU. He doesn't understand how anything works. But so now there's certain people in the States will be like, I hate Spain. Oh, no, I love Spain again. Never mind. Shit. Isn't it fun? I'm not the hugest soccer fan in the world. But I was just saying in the stream the other day that I deleted. I think there's so many net positives coming out of this World Cup. For our relations with the USA. First of all, it's over there, so they're paying more attention. And they're also getting a vibe for how the game works for the years I was in New York, got to know friends, great friends, some of my best friends. I always heard the same complaints about soccer. They couldn't figure out why the rest of the world watched soccer. And and the sports that they like in the States, and many of you are watching from the States, were confusing to us. I'd look at baseball and American football and go, what's happening? I don't get it. You never get it unless you care. If you start caring, then you start getting invested and you start watching the sport, right? I saw a thing earlier on Instagram, some guy walking around the States asking people how many more people watch the World Cup than watch the Super Bowl. And there were some people saying, like, I don't know, like 1,000, like 5,000. First of all, they were under the impression that the world watches the Super Bowl. The world does not watch the Super Bowl. There's one country out of 192 countries in the world that watches the Super Bowl. Then some people are like, I don't know, maybe 500,000. The guesses were so fucking out there. They were so, it was a real barometer, actually. Like, how do I deliver this information to you? When the Super Bowl happens, there's 350 million people in America. About between 175 million and 200 million Americans watch the Super Bowl. 1.5 billion people watch the World Cup. It's not even close. To the world, the Super Bowl is a niche little weird event that drifts on by without them even knowing. But I would always get the complaint from my friends like, oh, that's so boring. Soccer's so, there might be only one goal, 2 goals or 3 goals in the whole game. Sometimes there's no goal in the whole game and they draw. What kind of fucking sport is this? This is boring. I came up with the analogy because, of course, in basketball and stuff, it's like, oh, we won 189 versus 181, or whatever. There's like so many dunks into the net. So I'm trying to explain, like, okay. And I said this the other day. Sorry if it's deja vu. Imagine you're there facing a guy. And behind you is your kids and wife. And behind him is his kids and wife. And his objective is to kill your family or some of your family. And your objective is to kill some of his family. Each kid is a pretty big deal. So if the score is 1-0, like 1-0 at the end of the fight, that means, and he wins, that means he killed one of your kids. That's a pretty big thing. That's why the goals are such a fucking huge deal. Because when that ball starts getting over toward the other side, towards your net, everybody gets, I don't care what bar you're in, you ain't taking a sip of your drink. You start gripping your drink. You might fucking smash the glass in your hand unknowingly, There's way more attention on each score. So, it's just trying to explain different sports. But, every different sport is different and they all work differently and they're all interesting. What I would always recommend, because I experienced it going to the States and seeing all these, ice hockey and basketball and baseball. I've fucking no clue what's going on at all. And American football, I've no, all I see is commercials. That's all I see a bunch of guys in spacesuits. Yeah, it looks like rugby in spacesuits and commercials constantly. Everybody just keeps stopping the game. Super foreign to me. Still, after 20 years in New York, still super foreign. And I dated this girl who was super Americana, and she brought me to bars and whatever. Oh, she was from Ohio. She was one of these fucking big, tall, fucking Hitler Youth, fucking blonde, fucking 6 foot tall things that occurs in America because of the genetic pool that happens in America, because America is the beautiful thing about America is everybody mixed. That's the beauty of it, not a flaw. But she used to bring me to these bars and I cheer and I'd be like, what did someone score? What happened? But I recommend if you move to another part of the world and you have to, let's say you're American, you move over to Europe and everyone's watching soccer. And you're like, who are these people playing? Milan is playing Rome. Who gives a shit? Like Italians playing Italians. Well, it's the same. Like Americans are playing Americans, Colorado are playing, fucking Texas. I don't know. It just looks like the family squabbling. It's like not a real opponents like you have in the World Cup. You have Germans and French on the same fucking pitch, like yelling in different languages. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Is this like Steven Spielberg? Like, what's happening? But I recommend if you want to get into a sport quickly, because if you like, if you're European, you move to the States and you're watching these games and you're like, I don't care. Make yourself care. Well, you won't care because you're not from any of the towns or any of the states, right? You're not from Colorado or Kansas or whatever. So you don't have an affinity to any particular state. So for you, it's just like the family are squabbling. That's all. Bet money. Go into a bookies, look at the game. You got an invite tonight to go out with friends to a bar to watch some game. Look up who the teams are, where they're from, and go into a bookies and put $500 down on one of them. Anyone, it doesn't matter. Now, when you go to the bar, you're invested. Now you care. Now you'd be like, hold on, is that one of the guys from the other team? Oh fuck! Now you're paying attention. It's a quick, like easy leap over that initial problem. Now when you see the ball moving, you'd be like, hold on, wasn't that a foul? That was a fucking foul. Why didn't they call foul? Because you're $500, It's a good way to fast track the learning of a sport, because once you care, then you start learning the rules, right? So a lot of people in the United States learned what offside was recently. They were forced to, whereas anyone in Europe was like, yeah, it's totally offside, or no, that wasn't offside. But all I can think of is it's probably a good thing, because it's probably bringing everyone together a little bit. There's a huge moat. There's 2 moats. America has a moat around it. It's one of the reasons why it's such a strong military region. It's like a castle. It has the Pacific on one side and the Atlantic on the other side. If you want to shoot a missile, it's going to take a long time to get there. You have a moat like around a castle, like the body of water around a castle, a natural moat. You know, Germany moved into Belgium and France and Poland, and it was all fucking right over a border. All they had to do was walk. They were there. It was real easy. It started getting hard when they wanted to cross the channel and go over to Britain. That's when things changed. But there's also a psychological moat there in the States, I mean. You know, as much as we have in common in culture and language, there's a lot that's very foreign. And I feel like the World Cup might be bringing us all a little bit closer. Now Americans don't think we're that stupid. Like, they think the world is stupid because we watch soccer. Imagine thinking the rest of the world, like, imagine thinking 6 billion people, 7 billion people are kind of stupid and dumb and out of touch. That's a sickness. So now there might be a little bit more kind of harmony and unity, you know? At least that's, listen, you don't see me being positive about anything very often, so fucking take it while it's there. Okay? Ah, yes. Well, nobody's super chatting, so I better just fucking answer some questions here. Rugby is definitely insane. Matt is a ballerina. Rugby is American football without the helmets and the shoulder pads. Yeah, it's pretty insane. And, you know, even with the helmets and shoulder pads, American guys wind up in hospital and brain damage and stuff like that. You can imagine the rugby players. They all have cauliflower ears. That's a term. Cauliflower ears. Because your ears get so mangled. Scrumming. It's called a scrum when you put your head down with all the boys. The other team, they lock heads and they all scrum. And your fucking head like violently rubs against the guy next to you. And it mangles your ears, so they wind up with these fucked up ears. Jesus Christ. I remember a friend of mine years ago saying, yeah, but the American players are so much bigger. And that can tend to be true. Like, Americans, a lot of Americans are like 6'7", you know, and fucking 300 pounds, you know, complete monsters. So when they smash into each other, it's like two cars smashing. It's super violent. So the shoulder pads and the helmets and everything gotta make sense. But don't be fucking fooled. Like, some of these rugby guys are just monsters. When I met Stephen McGonigal, speaking of my Ireland video, part 1, I meet Stephen McGonigal, one of the greatest watchmakers in the world. And he's a big rugby fan. He even gave me a rugby ball. My mother has it in the house because I couldn't bring it back with me. I left it with her. And my mother loves rugby as well. She's a big rugby fan. And he has a watch called the Magon, which kind of has a tonneau shape, almost looks like a rugby ball slightly. I mean, the fucking thing is $12,000 because it's handmade. You know? But the strap is made in the same texture as a rugby ball, bright green and black. And one of his ambassadors, biggest ambassadors, is a guy on the Irish rugby team. His name escapes me. Big fucking butch fucker. Gorgeous looking guy. Now, let me tell you, guys, I'm not a slight person, okay? I've got a big wrist. I can wear a big fucking Panerai, right? I can, you know. A 36 mill date just looks like a button on me, okay? I put on that Magan watch. You'll see it in the video. It overhangs my wrist. It looks way too big on me. And he showed me a photo of this guy, this rugby guy, who's he's done interviews on TV and stuff with the watch on. His wrist must be that wide. Like the watch looks small on him. You do not get in a fight at a bar with a guy like this. You're dead. You're going to be in hospital. He will walk through you like your soup. So yeah, rugby fellas are monsters, and American football players are monsters. They're all fucking monsters. Adam, I think this is enlightening. Oshi, the view on US World Cup hosting. Nice to hear. Well, yeah. And of course, then there was the controversy about, Trump getting his fucking little fingers into the. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. I don't blame Trump because we expect Trump to be Trump. Okay. I never blame Trump. I only blame the people who enable him. He's been pretty clear, the whole time. Very clear. Extremely clear. You couldn't be more clear to the world about who you are than the guy. So in a way, you can't blame him. Like, it's like, I told you I was an asshole. Like, why are you all surprised? I blame the people who put him where he is. So you can't blame him for calling and trying to meddle in the World Cup because he doesn't know a fucking thing about it or any sport, despite what he says. I know sports very well. I know sports than anyone else. More about sports. Which is always. If you called him and said, "Hey, can you play guitar?" He'd be like, "I'm the best guitar player in the world." Many people have said it. People always tell me, "Well, just say it enough, and there's enough dumbasses who will just believe you because they're fucking brainwashed." But he hasn't the faintest clue. But I don't blame him. I blame FIFA for that. Because FIFA have their tongue up his ass so bad. It's fucking disgraceful. FIFA should have the head of FIFA should have said, listen, that's fine and all, but sometimes red cards are called and they're bad calls. And this is a thing we've learned to live with. And there's a few billion people in the world who will object to what you're asking. And hung up the phone. I don't know if it was a red card call, but it was probably a bad call. It should have been a yellow card, maybe. But there are some who say, "Oh, it's definitely a red card." Whatever. But it doesn't matter. There's red cards called erroneously many times through history. It's something you learn to live with. And you just move on. The fact that FIFA actually reversed it to true, I'm not a huge soccer fan, as I said, to true soccer fans was probably like the end of soccer, the end of football, as we call it. The end. Like, you've truly done something truly sacrilegious to the game. But of course he did. Now, FIFA are the issue. I blame them. Again, all you have to do is hang up the phone and go, it's okay, Donald. But the moment you go, okay, we'll do it, you're the fucking problem. It's not Trump. You're the fucking problem. That was unforgivable. But then there was so much attention then. And I don't blame the team, the USA team. They're getting better and better. They're decent players, and they did well this time around. And that player in particular, his name's gone out of my head, who is an immigrant, by the way, and under Trump's new laws that he's trying to push would not be a naturalized citizen or whatever, birthright, and speaks with a British accent. I don't blame him either. These guys just want to play football, play soccer. But there was so much attention then on the whole game with Belgium. I can only see a good thing coming out of this, I have to say. All of a sudden now everyone's like, oh shit, how's it going to go with Belgium? If we win, will it be because of that? Of course, Belgium fucking wiped the floor with them. That's proper sports justice right there. The whole fucking world was rooting for Belgium. I've never rooted for Belgium in my life. I never gave a shit. But I was like, can we show them who are the men in the room now? Thank you. Let's do it. And they fucking did it. Of course they did. Christ. Anyway, I see it as a gateway toward removing the blinders. Yeah. Blinders like horses have so they don't look left and right. You remove the blinders so now you have wide vision. I think that might be beginning to happen, at least in sports, if nothing else. That might be the longest I've ever spoken about fucking soccer on my channel. Let me look. No super chats. You guys are just, here I am back. Oh, there is. Michael Cox, 10 British pounds. Thank you, sir. Off to Wicklow tomorrow and the West next month. You should go sometime. I should go sometime? Or here they do a good cheddar in the way. Oh, he's joking. He's being facetious. That's fine. They do a good chowder in the West. I met a wonderful lady the other day. I'm not sure I should say who she is, but she's a prominent figure here. I was introduced to her at a cafe down the street where I sit on the water. And she's Irish. She's from Howth. And she organizes ballet here in Venice. Wonderful lady to speak to. And we got talking. She was very curious. Started asking me my story, so I breezed through it as quickly as I could, if that's even possible. She was like, Jesus Christ, I was interested in your story. I didn't realize it was going to be like this much stuff. But we were talking, I mentioned, because she's from Howth and loves Howth and still has a house there and knows all the people and all the big wigs in Howth. And I mentioned about, the documentary, the Ireland documentary and so on. And I also mentioned the thing about the chowder, which a lot of people find to be kind of fun, kind of when those documentaries perhaps get a little heavy, little syrupy, perhaps. There's a little bit of relief where I'm kind of looking for, it's a kind of a side story or side adventure. Thank you, Michael, for the super chat about the chowder, looking for the best chowder in Ireland. And she said, well, where did you find it? And I said, well, you have to watch we're going to have to watch the videos to find out. If you want to know where the best cheddar is that I found, you have to watch the videos. Sorry, I'm not staring at my junk here. I'm winding a watch. I'm winding my Omega Seamaster SMP 300M so I can set it. And stick it on the wrist, because I've been wearing this AP the whole time. The original and the best. Off comes the Fidel. I'm going to switch up watches a bit tonight. I have a ton of watches here I want to wear. And I'm going to put on the SMP. Boom. Nice. Love this thing. Love the bracelet. I don't care what anyone says. It's creamy. Smoothest bracelet I have. The God tier SMP. That's right, Declan. That's it. I could have just stopped here, couldn't I? Would have made life easier. What's up with the hair tonight? Oh, it's always a bad hair day in Oisin's world. Kyle Penna, let's go Norway. Yeah, I'd love to. I was talking to a Norwegian guy in a bar late last night. And I was like, I'd love Norway to win. Haaland is fine. He's a monster. That guy's like an alien. He's amazing. And what they did was, I mean, they're on the right side of history. Let's just put it that way. So I kind of dig them. It's unlikely they'll win. Who's going to win? France? England might win. Argentina, seeing as apparently because fucking Messi went to the Wailing Wall, they fucking bought their way, and everyone's getting the tap on the shoulder. The more I get to know Messi, the less I like him. And what they did to Egypt was frankly criminal. I mean, they were clearly told that they could kick and abuse and assault the Egyptian team with impunity, literally. And the Egyptian goal was probably the best goal of the entire thing. And it was disqualified. So, you know what? If you pay enough and the referee is on someone's side, you can totally fix the World Cup. You can make it happen. So I'm pretty cynical about it. Magic says, I think France is taking it. France are always good, and you know why. Immigration. The rise in immigration in France has led them to having some of the broadest gene pool available. So their players, Mbappe, not least of which Mbappe, are fucking incredible because they get to have everyone. because they're French citizens. So much for the Muslim invasion of Europe. Turns out it's a fucking great thing. Better food, prettier women, better soccer players. Yeah, France might take it. At this point, I'm just happy if Argentina don't take it. After what they did to Egypt, I don't want to see them take it. I don't like Messi. He's a great player, there's no doubt. But he's a fucking prick. Sorry. There's something going on there with that bunch. But Norway is, I don't know why. They just put a smile on my face. It's just fucking hilarious. Especially Haaland is like a monster or something. He's like a weird Viking monster. It's like he doesn't give a shit or something. It's weird. DJ, tequila and watermelon must be summer. I know. Every year it's like deja vu now. Joey Rush Dublin. Look at that for a name. A fellow dub here. I've recently got into watches when me ma gave me granddad's watch. I have a small collection, but that one watch is always priceless and will be passed down. Fan of the channel. Thanks, Joey. Welcome. It's a good bunch here. Good lads. Solid. We agree and we disagree on a great many things, but I think we're all gentlemen enough to put up with that, you know. Hey, count your blessings. I'm just talking about soccer. I haven't gone on to Israel Palestine yet. That's what this shit really is. The fact. No, I won't. I'll stay away. What else was? Well, there is some political stuff to talk about. If you'll allow me, I want you guys to look at something here. I want you guys to take a close look at something very interesting here. Something that should scare the fucking living bejesus out of you, seeing as I have Dubliners in the audience. You see that? Do you know what that is? Before any of you say it, it is not AI. There are AI videos, but I went through them carefully to find the ones that weren't, because frankly, you don't need them. Do you guys know what cooked means? We are cooked. I don't mean C-U-C-K. That's a sexual thing. I mean C-O-O-K-E-D. You can replace the C and the O with F-U if you want. This is the biggest funeral that was ever held in the history of the world. Just happened the other day. By orders of magnitude, guys. I'm going to cut to the chase here real quick. You've been completely lied to. The Iranians didn't dislike their leader. He's a tough religious man and did some not very nice stuff, there's no doubt. But he was their religious leader. It's like the Pope to them and the leader of their country. I'll just say for the sake of argument, not fucking we, but whatever. Killed him. His little granddaughter was only fucking like a year old or something. We're so insanely cooked, guys. We are fucked from a highest level. You have been lied to. First of all, Iran is an amazing country. My cousin has been there like 7 or 8 times. It's one of his favorite countries in the world. He's been in every country in the world. He loves traveling. He's extremely educated. And Iran is his favorite country. My TikTok and my Instagram is just full of women going there with no hijab or anything and just enjoying life and having a great time and shopping and so on. And women are in extreme positions of power, heads of universities, people in government, and so on. What you've been told about Iran, and let's make no mistake here, I don't want to split hairs here or allow any gray area. Everything you've been told about Iran is a fucking bald-faced lie. Now you want to turn off the show because you're like, oh, he's a terrorizer. He supports the terrorizers. Yeah, you go ahead. I won't fucking miss you. Iran has its issues, certainly. One of its main issues is the fucking embargo on the country, the sanctions. You really care about the Iranian people? Lift the fucking sanctions. No? Didn't think so. Oh, apparently you care about the Iranian people. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. Lift the sanctions. They might be lifted now. People are learning real hard how it goes. By the way, she's wearing a keffiyeh on her head, not a hijab. And she's over. The reports are varied. Some of them are exaggerated, I'm sure. From what I can understand, we're looking at about 12 to 13 million people. That's not the high end of the reports. That's far from it. I'm being conservative here. At the funeral for the Ayatollah. Can you imagine they firebombed Trump, the White House, killed him and his family and his kids? Can you imagine what would happen? They would nuke Iran immediately without blinking. And can you imagine that guy was the Pope, which to some of you he probably is. Now, listen, I don't care where you are on the political map. Think what you want. But I'm going to ask you this. You think these people are going to forget what happened? You think they're going to forget who killed their great leader? This idea that they were being liberated by this oppressor is for the birds. It was not the case. I'm sure there were plenty of people who didn't like him, like in every fucking country. Half the country of America don't like Trump. Half the Ireland, most of Ireland don't like our Taoiseach or our Taoiseach. Most of UK don't fucking like Starmer. This is not unusual. Half of Italy hates Meloni. That's not unusual. Can you come in and firebomb Maloney and assassinate her and her child, or if she I don't know if she has children. I should know that. Or family. Because you say, oh, the Italians don't like her. Well, listen, if they had some qualms with their great leader before, for personal reasons in the country and the way things are going, those are gone now. Those are gone because there's a bigger evil as far as they can see who just came in. And the little kid, did you see the coffin? You want to see the coffin? You want to fucking watch that? There's the coffin of the little kid. There's the people yelling. Oh, that's a bigger coffin. Look, that's the coffin. That's the coffin of the kid, of the Ayatollah's granddaughter. There's video of him sitting next to her. She's a little blonde kid, actually. You think these people are going to forget? They won't forget. We are fucking cooked. All of us, not just the United States and Israel. I mean, Israel, fucking hell. Let's face it, they're the ones who did it. Give me a break. Life's too fucking short to tell lies. We all fucking know exactly who was behind that. Those pack of wankers. Look at that funeral. Can you see how big that is? You've never seen anything at this scale in your life. And it's not propaganda, and it's not invented, and it's not AI. If you had any of those thoughts, I haven't read the comments in a few minutes, but if you have had any of those thoughts, do me a favor and fucking stick a spoon up your ass. Look at this. This is the kid. I'm forcing you guys to watch this. I don't care if the numbers go down. This is the fucking kid they killed. That's the Ayatollah's granddaughter. That could be your kid. Let me tell you something, guys. In 1988, I've spoken about this before, but maybe some of you guys are new to the room. In 1988, the U.S. military, U.S. Vincennes military ship, USS Vincennes, I should say, shot down an Iranian air passenger flight. By accident. They thought it was perhaps a threat. It was way out of line. It was just fucking... Tom Rogers was the skipper. And he was full of fucking bravado, and he wanted to fucking just shoot. And they took down this. It was just a commercial flight. They were going on holiday. 200 souls on board in 1988. There was no apology made. And Tom Rogers was laid in Hawaii, not laid the way you're thinking. Laid means you get off the ship and they put flowers around your neck. In Hawaii, where they docked the ship, and was given a fucking honorary medal, and he retired that year. The Iranians were asked, how do you feel? What are you going to do? And they said, we will respond accordingly. I'd fucking say the same thing if that was my country, my people. So wouldn't you? Well, about 6 months later, December 1988, a Pan Am Flight 103 went down over Lockerbie, Scotland. Who do you think that was? I'm hoping one thing, that somehow the good nature of these people, because I find Muslim people to be good natured. I know that's fucking, you're freaking out going, what are you talking about? Because you've been indoctrinated to think that they're not peaceful people. They are very peaceful people. If they weren't, the world would be on fire because there's about 2 billion of them. So there's the proof. I hope that the good nature of them can see over it, because otherwise I'm going to be very nervous about getting on any fucking commercial flight for the next 10 years. We killed their Pope and their Trump, if you like Trump, whatever, all in one, and his little granddaughter and other members of his family. You know who he didn't kill? His son. And he's fucking worse. I know this is not news, guys, but the world became way more dangerous for anybody in the West when that happened. Way more. You think they're going to forget who did that? You think they're going to forget that it happened? Let it slide. You out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? They were not let us. You saw the crowd. You saw 12, 13 million people on a modest estimate. And that's not even to mention the 160 young girls who were fucking slain while they went to school. It's not good, guys. It's not good. I don't know about you, but I hope they vote Meloni out of power next year, because that's the only fucking chance that we here in Italy have any chance of fucking getting on a commercial flight and feeling somewhat safe. Because she supports all of the above. What happened was unforgivable and disgraceful, just as it would be if, as I said, Trump or Meloni or even Starmer, even though everybody hates him, or whoever's next, what's his name, was fucking shell to shit with his family. Come on. Come on. Why are we supposed... It's pure racism when we disregard, when we, oh, well, they're Arabs. That's different. That doesn't matter. Like they don't love their children as much as we do. It's unbelievable. So that funeral was the other day, and it has gone down on record as the largest funeral, beyond belief largest, like larger than any other funeral in history, in the history of the world. I have a clip here somewhere of a guy talking about the scale of it next to other funerals. I don't know if I can find it. Never mind. And the way we just did it, I keep saying we didn't do it. In fact, the US didn't even do it. We know who fucking did it, but the US won't say no and they won't stop it. Because because Miriam Adelson's hand is very neatly tucked up Trump's ass right up to his mouth so she can move his mouth like that. That's what she's doing. So as George Bush said years ago, if you're not with us, you're against us. If you fund that shit and you allow it, then you're to blame too. A lot of Americans are waking up to that lately, by the way, which gives me hope. Gives me a lot of hope. Sweet Mother of God, may God have mercy on our souls. Because the Iranians won't. I'm just hoping that the good nature of a Muslim mind that fears the eyes of God, of Allah, or whatever, and believes in the beauty of every soul, of every child, every woman, and every man, spares us the wrath. I mean, there's multiple videos. There's huge banners, kill Trump, destroy Israel, blah, 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 blah. Can they? Maybe not, okay? Of course. They don't have the military might that the West has. They don't have it. But can they take down a plane? Yeah, fucking yeah, they can. And can they kill people in the streets? Yeah, they can. Can they blow up buses and trains? Yeah, they can. Across Europe, across America, of course they can. It's called fighting dirty. The Irish learned the hard way that that's sometimes the way you have to do it. I don't think it's fully, the penny has fully dropped in your minds about what exactly happened. Let it sink in of what we, quote unquote, did. It's really fucking bad. Just because the news isn't talking about it every day doesn't mean it didn't happen. We're fucked. Anyway, there's a little bit of a rant. How's it going with the S&P? S&P 300. Back to watches. Actually, I will put on a different watch. I'm going to put on this beautiful Speedy I've been enjoying. And I put it on the leather strap. The Michael Knapp strap. There's another fucking sore subject I might get around to. Michael Knapp. A lovely gentleman with some really disturbed ideas, unfortunately. I got a fucking horrific email from that guy the other day. Horrific. Gave me fucking chills. Lovely guy. Made me this strap, handmade, and other straps. Supported the channel. Maybe I'll leave it to the iBashers show and bring it up there. I don't know if Dirk wants the drama, though. But yes, gorgeous watch. It's the Tokyo 2020. I took it off the bracelet because the bracelet's like full stickers and it's minty. And just figured I'd stick it on the strap. Nice, huh? It's a beauty. Catches the light. Look at that. It has lume, but who needs lume when you have gold to catch the light? That's a gold right there, guys. It's a beautiful Speedy. Yeah. Anthony Ryan, ask the Kurds about your cuddly. I never said the IRGC were cuddling. There's something wrong with your brain. Go take a shower. Have a little rest. Sleep it off. You'll be okay. ED7384 as a one watch collection. Do you think Rolex Explorer or Omega Seamaster? It's hard. It comes down to whether you're a Rolex or Omega guy, because they're both one watch collections. Both of them. Which do you prefer? Do you like? Are you a Rolex kind of guy or are you an Omega kind of guy? Wizard Terrace. I would think that Rolex is more durable than Omega. Not true. Not true. Both durable, both fantastically built watches. Just one is in a slightly lower price point because Rolex has a name, but Omega watches are built just as well as Rolex watches, easily. They should be equals, but Rolex is everybody. Even people that don't know anything about watches know what Rolex is. I love Tudor. Yeah, I love Tudor too. Hey, I'll put on a Tudor in your honor. Just give me one more minute with this lovely Speedy. Miguel. Which watch is more stunning, the Sub Bluesy or GMT Rose Gold? The GMT, the full root beer Rose Gold? Oh, that's a tough one. The depends what you like. The Sub Bluesy full gold, I assume, because you're comparing it with the GMT Rose Gold, is brighter. Turn more heads. The root beer Rose Gold is more subdued. It's a beautiful watch, but it takes a second glance to figure out what it is. And that goes for even if you're talking two-tone, same rules apply. But I would say if you're talking two-tone, the root beer is nicer than its equivalent in sub. I just think the root beer is it's one of these great fucking watches, What else is going on? Are there any more rants? Not really. Not really. I've had some interesting evenings here in Venice recently with different types of company. I'm figuring out the social circles of Venice. It's been an education. If you look at my Instagram, you're probably wondering what the fuck is going on with him. What are the messages he's putting out in code? I'm putting messages out in code. I'm using Marillion music. When Oshin starts talking about Marillion, we're all in trouble. Fish Marillion, the old Marillion, not the Steve Hogarth Marillion. they're fine, but Fish was the great genius to me. When he left the band, that was the end of. I never listened to them again. The tortured soul, the poetry of Fish. He used to call, people would call him Fish. His name is Derek, but his nickname was Fish, like Slash in Guns N' Roses or something like that. The Edge and U2. When I started listening to Marillion, I've gone into combat mode. So, yeah, it's just been some interesting educational stuff going on. I don't know if I want to elaborate or not. Not drunk enough. The big question with Marillion is which of the four records? That's the German four. Which of the four records is the best? Script for a Jester's Tear, the first one. Fugazi, the second one. Misplaced Childhood, the third one. Or Clutching at Straws, the fourth. It's like talking about the Lord of the Rings or something. It's hard. Not Matt Lang, beautiful lyrics. Oh, his lyrics are hard. People don't understand. I mean, at some point in the future, I used to say this all the time, they will study his lyrics in school. Like, it'll be part of English literature. His lyrics are at a level, if I wrote fucking one phrase at that level, I'd die happy. True master of the language and how to use it in a poetic way. Frightening. He doesn't get enough kudos for it. But yeah, interesting interactions with various people, including females. Oh man, I don't know if I want to divulge, but I'll just say this. I did put a clip of She Chameleon, Watch the Lizard, on my Instagram. Watch the Lizard with the crimson veil. A lot of girls in this town, young, who are after the fellas with the money, It's chilling. It's chilling. But it was interesting. We went to I met with friends and we all went to Harry's Bar, which is a famous place here to go where all the rich and famous have dinner. It's expensive. Overpriced, I would say, but you go because it's the place to be seen or whatever. And there was one girl who was kind of with me who met my friends and we all went together. And she had some family in town, some friends of family, and some guy called. And she's like, "Oh, we're over. Harry's come over." So he comes over, and he's this gay guy in his 50s from probably New York. I didn't figure out. And he had cycling shorts on. He had shorts on, like gymnastics shorts on. And this is Harry's Bar, like a history like that goes back. And And he sits there next to me, and they come over and they're like, "Sorry, sir, you can't." And I take my handkerchief or my, you know, you know, all the words are disappearing now because I'm getting confused between Italian. Fazzoletto. I put it on his over his legs. I'm like, yeah, you can't see anything. He's sitting next to me. He's fine. And they're like, it's not gonna work. We have a tradition here. Men can't come in shorts. Men wear slacks. So I'm like, dude, I think you have to go. You know, he just got there. It was very humiliating for the poor gentleman. He was very easily in his late 50s. So I stand up with him, and he starts with this stuff. I'm going to sue you, to the guy in the restaurant, the waiter. Because you're assuming I'm a man. And I'm not a man. Oh my God, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. You're going to hit us with that in Harry's bar in Venice? And I'm like, come on, dude. I'm also thinking about the image, because when we walk into Harry's bar, myself and James, we get the handshakes from everybody, the smiles from everyone. They know us. We get a table whenever we want. That takes time to build up. That takes work. You know, you don't get that easily. It takes investment over time before you're considered one of the guys on the inside. And without a reservation, you walk in and are given a table. That's hard. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to fuck this, you know. And I was like, come on with me. And I also felt bad for the guy. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, he just came along to see his friend. His friend, by the way, didn't get up from the table in all of her infinite class. She fucking stayed where she was and had her meal. Our food had just arrived. I got up and I'm like, come on out with me. Let's go out and have a chat. I brought him outside and I was like, hey man, it's okay. No worries, you know. Hey, I'm gonna light a cigar. Have you ever smoked a cigar? And I taught him how to smoke a cigar. And I took his mind off it, you know, just trying to dilute the situation. So because he was getting riled up and he was hitting them with the I'm gonna sue you stuff, and they're assuming I'm a man. I was like, yeah, a man would have worn slacks to Harry's bar, so I'm not assuming anything. And I'm fucking woke and lefty and everything, but it's, you know, Jesus, pick your fucking moments. Gee, what's wrong with people? Like, I've said it to Dirk before. It's overreach. I believe in people's freedom and be whoever you want and all that, but quit it with the overreach. The overreach is when it becomes a problem. Anyway, so I stayed outside with him just to calm him down, you know, make conversation. And I also felt awful for the guy. Like, that's so embarrassing, you know. Kicked out of the fucking Harry's bar. Also, do not wear fucking cycling shorts. It's 10:30 at night. What are you doing? You're walking into a classic Venetian high-level restaurant. Put on some slacks, you fucking shitwit. Anyway. Then there's girls coming out of the restaurant and they all have short skirts. It's hot here, you know. They have short skirts and shorts on. So he's like, look at them. And I'm like, yeah, they're girls. Jesus Christ. Fucking stop. You have hairy man legs. But I guess you don't see those anymore. Okay, got it. Logic. Get out of the room. Thank you. We don't need you anymore, apparently. But anyway, I'm just chilling with the guy and making him feel better because I feel bad. And then I'm like, where are you staying? And he's staying over in a shitty hotel over my side of town, actually. And I was like, well, let me get you a ticket for the boat so, you know, you don't have to walk the whole way and all that. Trying to dilute the situation. And well, his fucking friend who invited him didn't. I mean, she eventually came out, apparently at the behest of James, who was there, who was like, do you not think you maybe should fucking step out? It's your friend. And the guy who's brought us to Harry's, who's going to pick up the bill, is out there trying to band-aid the situation for you, you fucking idiot. She eventually came out. She had my jacket on because she was feeling cold, and I gave her my jacket. No good deed goes unpunished, fellas. But then she went back in. But apparently there were certain comments made while she was inside. And my friends turned to me, James and his girlfriend turned to me and told me them later. And I was like, okay, got it. Watch the lizard. That's all I can say, guys. A lot of you guys have expensive watches, beautiful cars, a couple of houses, successful businesses. And some of you have lovely wives, loving wives, and good for you. It's not something I have. If you're out there and you're still meeting new people, watch the lizard. That's all I can say. With the Crimson Veil. Go listen to Marillion. She Chameleon is the name of the song. Great album. Really good album. So I go back in because eventually they're closing the restaurant. I go back in and my steak is still sitting there on the table. They've all eaten and had a great time on my dime, by the way, because I'm the only one in the fucking group who has money. And I didn't eat anything. But I picked up the bill. Later that night, I ate a tin of tuna with some tomatoes from the fridge. Right. All band-aiding someone else's issue. Someone with no character. I'm going to wind up this Tudor because somebody mentioned Tudor. I've got two gorgeous Tudors. Two steel and gold Tudors I can show you guys. This is one of my favorite watches. Put some life back in her. I love winding Tudor watches. They're so fucking hefty and beautiful. Yeah, I'll stick this on. Where was that? Fucking beautiful. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. And I have its brother. Its brother is right here. It's not mine. It belongs to Simone Frollo. But he was like, hey, show it on your channel. Maybe somebody might want to buy it. And this is now discontinued. I'll put them both on at the same time. That's going to be fun. Two big bitches. Hefty Tudor. Listen, guys. If Rolex went out of business, which will never happen, and it was all that was left was Tudor, I wouldn't complain. I love Tudor. They're like Rolex with cowboy boots on, you know? It's like Rolex for men, you know? People say like it's the poor man's Rolex. I'm always like, no, remove poor. It's the man's Rolex. Look at that. That's the three-hander with the gold dial. Look at that. That's quite a shot right there. Beauties, both of them. This one is still in production. You still get it. I think it's 10,000 now, or over 10,000 from Tudor. Crazy. This one is out. It just went out of production. I don't know why they discontinued this one, the three-hander, without discontinuing the chrono, but they did for some reason. Let me put this one on by itself. With the snap. Ugh. This is a fucking beast. If you're a bigger guy and you don't have to be a bigger guy. This Black Bay 58s and so on, 54s, they have smaller options. But if you're a, proper big gentleman, lifts weights, whatever, and Rolex isn't quite doing it for you, I think you need to think about Tudor. The beast. This one's for sale. It's follows. It's a beauty, especially with the gold dial. There is a version of the chrono with the gold dial, which is also very appealing. I like the black though. It's a nice contrast. Happy with it. It's the only Tudor I own now. I've had several. I've had the Harrods. I've had the GMT, the Pro, the GMT with the one that looks like the 1655. Not a ton. Just came back to. I had the white dial one, the white lady, as I called it. Made a big video on that. Look at that. At first glance, wouldn't you say that's a Rolex? On the bigger wrist, that wears like a sub, wears on most guys' wrists. Yeah. Stunner. Love that thing. You know what? If no one buys it, because I think 4,500 will cover this because it's new and the box and everything out, fucking papers, and been worn like a couple of times. That's it. But if it doesn't, I think I'll keep it and just wear it and love it. All right. Somebody earlier on my Instagram said when they saw the clips of the Gold Sub, they're like, it's a nice watch, but you're more of a Panerai guy in my mind. So I have to put on some Panerai. I'm going to wind this thing as well. So it's 3 days manual wind. I'm going to wind her up. It's important as well with these manual wind watches to wind them all the way up. Like, don't just give them a few turns. Like, bring them all the way back to the top again. Gives them more life. Helps them breathe better. That's a 3 day. Timmy has an 8 days. Like, it takes forever to wind the fucking thing. Tim Wright, that is. Still the best. nightly watch show on YouTube, Tim Wright channel. So this is the PAM 514, and I just got the new strap for it. I just got this beautiful strap in Florence at the Panerai, the original Panerai store, which is Prada fabric, Prada design. It's rubber and fabric. They use the same fabric on some sailing boats. So it's perfect for the summer because my other strap is alligator and it's not gonna handle the hot weather too well. Let me put this on. I know a lot of you are going to say, that's the one. That's you. There you go. there's a fucking man's watch, if you've ever seen one. The movement is the P3000. Very famous movement from Panerai. Big beast. Big, gorgeous, sexy watch. Radiomir 1940. Yes, you're right, Thomas. 1940 lugs, because pre 1940 they were wire lugs. These are the 1940 lugs. It's a big beast of a watch. I have only one more watch to show you, and I'll show you in a minute because I'm going to end the show soon. I'm going to go over with Dirk Kennedy on the Eyebashers. I think has he started already? Let me check. I'll pour some more booze. Get a little more drunk. Yeah, he's live. Not Matt Lang. It's not that big, but simple and refined. Yeah, listen. Look how slim it is. I mean, it's not a super slim watch, but it's slimmer than a lot of Panerais. Yeah. It doesn't have the crazy big clasp. I like the clasp. I love those big clasps. It has the Rolex clasp, or the crown, I should say, crown. Lume, this thing is beautiful. It's a big, beautiful, simple 47 mil. This is the real thing because that's where they started. Panerai were 47 mil, and they started making smaller ones just because of the brand. But originally, for the military, the Italian military, this was the size of the watch. Luckily for me, I'm a big bastard. And works fine. Doesn't look weird on me. Would look weird on a lot of people. Love this strap. I want to wear this thing out to the beach. I have to go out to the beach next week because I'm filming the new Nomadic watch, the 750, the Brew 750. And I'm going to do some underwater shots. So, I have my enclosure to protect my camera from the water. I'm going to do underwater shots with the new Nomadic. It's a sexy watch. Titanium diver, like a Sea Dweller, alternative. Nice watch. So, yeah, there's big beefy fucker. We love that. And I'll put on one last one. Anthony Rain. Oisin wins 4-2. He doesn't understand football and geopolitics. Yeah, I have no idea about geopolitics. I've never read a book about geopolitics in my life. I haven't been following geopolitics for 35 years. Yeah, you're right. Right on the money there. You really fucking call my number, shitbit. He does know wine and what women are missing. No, I don't know women at all. Actually, you got it extra wrong. If I knew women, I'd be in a very different position. So this is the last one. I have to end with a bang. Seeing as I started with the Fidel, I gotta end with an AP, and that's how I'm ending this show. Good enough. My best watch. That and the Breguet Tourbillon. Or the Vacheron Corona. Which one's your favorite? Would you want this? The Breguet Tourbillon in yellow gold with the hand carved back, or the Vacheron, which you see on my Instagram, all over my Instagram, that I wore to Ennio Morricone concert last week. Which would you be into? Let me know in the comments. I was just mentioning the other day on the live, Patricia came over, who owns the big cafe there on her story. If you don't know her story, go back through my lives. She's a beautiful, elegant woman who's kind of owns an empire here. She came over by my side at one point in the evening. She just appeared right here, down on her hunkers. It's like, everything okay? I'm like, yeah, it's great. Everything's great. And her fucking, she had the yellow gold Daytona with the Tiffany dial. She's like, is everything on? I'm like, everything's great. I'm just like mesmerized by the watch. I'm like, oh my God. I've seen like one other in the wild. I said, did you get that from Rolex? And she goes, yeah. Anyway, she doesn't want to flaunt her wealth. And I said, and I had the Vacheron on. I was like, oh, I'm wearing Vacheron tonight. I showed her, and she did a Tim Wright. Tim Wright, when he looks at a watch, he caresses it and thumb swipes. He wipes his thumb over the crystal, which is disgusting because he usually has a sweaty thumb. So it looks like he's clearing the crystal, but he's not at all. He's totally making it greasy. And she totally did that all over. She started caressing it with her thumb. Oh, it's beautiful. And I was like, you know what? There are very few people, Patricia, that I would allow to do that. And you're one of them. I don't think I'm going to wash this watch now for a week. I'm going to go home and lick it. Nah. Just kidding. There's a woman with a collection. I've been invited over to her house, and I think I want to look at her collection. If I can get some video footage, I will show you guys, I promise. It's going to be very scary. Not least of which the Patek Nautilus with diamonds and sapphires that she had on last week, which is worth about 750,000. She's my hero. She's the hero of many people here. That's rags to riches. That's real rags to riches. She's the success story of Venice, and she's still gorgeous. She's 55 and still a beautiful, elegant woman. It's amazing. Girl power. That's what that is. DG, another old watch lady? No, I never met an old watch lady in the flesh. October 7 turned her off. She changed after that. She bought that horseshit story. 40 beheaded babies. Oh, fuck off. Invented horseshit. She fucking went in for all that. I'm like, that's nice. It's great to know that my supporter of the channel is buying propaganda bullshit. I feel real good now. Thanks very much for that. TVs and ovens. Jesus Christ. What a freaking moron do you need to be? I love the way it's 40 beheaded baby, not 39 or 41. 40. That's how you know it. They just came up with it. And Biden repeated that bullshit. If you need any solace about Trump winning, there it is. Biden and Kamala presided over that massacre and did nothing about it. May they rot in hell. Trump would have done the same. I don't think he's any better. Don't get me wrong. But those motherfuckers, yeah. Nobody beheaded anyone's baby. You're being lied to. Just like the stuff with Iran. They're not bad people. They're the same as me and you. Get it through your head. If you can't, take a deep breath, take a look in the mirror, and reconsider. Okay? Okay. All right, guys, I'm off to Dirk's show. The Eye Bashers, the most fun show on the interwebs. He's a lot more upbeat than I am. If you've been falling asleep to my dulcet tones, or what to call them, just beware, because things are going to pep up considerably. So you might want to switch off and nod off. If, on the other hand, you want some more scandal and madness and chaos and gossip, the link is in the chat there. I put it up there. You can't click on the screen. You got to go to the chat. Or if you just leave the stream running, it'll pop you over. I will see you guys over there. Good night. Nice to do a Who Needs a Drink. I'm not going to promise I'll be back next week the same, like I used to do all the time. I have a lot of other videos to work on, but it was good to catch up. And if you're listening over the weekend, driving, long drive, long train ride, I know a lot of people like to pass the time with the show, with their morning coffee or whatever. Enjoy. Hope I didn't make you too mad. But maybe a little. All right, guys. Thanks for the super chats, guys, and the PayPals. Much appreciated. And I will see you on Dirk's show. There's the link again in the chat. See you there in precisely 10 seconds. Oh, some people were saying the Breguet. They love the Breguet more. Well, you can't be blamed for that. Actually, Frollo, during the week, he said to me, I think Breguet is better than Patek. And he knows his shit. So, there you go. I tend to agree. All right, guys. Good night. Peace and love.